Okay.
Okay, well, hello everyone, and welcome to our Tiny Talks Workshop Series, Day 1. We are going to tell you today, Builder Day, with our NOAA certified member, Mark Mitchell of Mini Mansions Tiny Home Builders. Tomorrow, we're going to have Jay Schaefer, the pioneer of tiny houses. Wednesday, we're going to have a developer of a tiny house neighborhood here in Florida. And Thursdays will be Inspector Chat Day with Q&A. So look forward to that. So we're going to have the recordings available for y'all that are not able to tune in. We'll send those out to everyone that signed up. And I don't have a whole lot, but Robin is going to introduce our speaker today. And with that, I hand it over to Robin. Thanks, Robin.
Thank you, Leanne. Hey guys, always a pleasure to come before you guys and try to bring some really valuable content to you. Today, our guest is Mark Mitchell, like Leanne said, and he's out of Missouri, I believe, but he's heading to Florida. So I guess he's going into warmer territory. So I just wanted to go ahead and get started. Mark, is it all right if we ask you a few questions and kind of forth on that? That work for you?
Yep, that'll work.
All right. Question: how long have you been in business in mini mansions doing tiny houses, and how many have you? I know you don't have the exact figure, but how many do you build a year, or how many have you built in the time you've been building?
We have done 40 in almost 8 years. The most we've done in a year was about 9, I believe, 8 or 9, and then we started doing less and less because we started leaving for the winter to go to Florida and different places. So, but the potential is there to do as many as we want. We just stopped advertising and stuff because we wanted to go to Florida, leave in the winter because I love Florida. So, but now we.
Will you still have a shop up there in Missouri?
Yes, we sold the company, so the new owners are going to take over, and now they're really advertising. So they're going to get it up to 10 to 15 year. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's the average homes?
Say it again.
What do you build? What's the smallest home and the largest home that you built? Average length?
The smallest we do is 8 by 20, and the largest is 8 by 30. And that's what the two upper.
Okay. 8 by 30. Do you have lofts in there?
Yeah, we always have the bigger lofts because we do our houses.
Do you have loft home?
What'd you say?
Yeah,
it keeps freezing up.
Oh, that's not good. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have lofts in most of your homes. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, everyone. Yeah.
Everyone. And you had one or
it was an office, but yeah, most of all of our houses we have lofts, big lofts up there.
All right. Do you do drop axles or straight axles or deck overs? Probably can't do a deck over with a loft, but what's your?
We have I don't really know. I think we've done drop axles, and now I think that we're not doing drop axles. They're a little higher, so we had to come down on our wall height to not exceed 13.6, but it doesn't really make that much difference you can't really notice the difference up in the loft with that. And that's really what we're worried about, is getting that room up in the loft so that you don't feel, like you're in a cramped space. We like the big space up there.
Sure, like you're claustrophobic up there. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. So most of your units are stay right there in Missouri? Do they go out different
We
places?
all the way. We've been from California to Maine and
Oh
Texas,
my.
all United States. I deliver them everywhere. Yeah.
Okay. So that's cool. Do you have a particular, I mean, everything is like um sleeping, eating, you got bathrooms, you got kitchens, you got sleeping areas, you got everything that you need in your units?
Yes, everything. Um, yeah, it's we build them for a permanent living. We don't really build them to travel all around with them. So
Right.
they're huge, and our houses are really big. So
Yeah, 10 foot wide. Yeah, it's pretty large. So
ours
do
is
you
good.
have a transport company that transports these, Mark?
No, my wife do. We transport them because we don't meet our clients until 90% of our clients until we deliver the homes. So we deliver them, and then we help set them up, and then we get to know our clients. So it works out well, to do that.
Do you have to have a special license to tow 10 feet wide?
I never did 10 feet. I only do 8 foot wide. Mine's
Oh,
only, yeah.
I see.
I don't really know if you do. I do have a class A if that would arise, but I don't know that you need that. I'm not real sure. I don't, we did kind of, we're going to go into the 10 foot wides, and then see what it entails to, travel with them. But I'm sure it's not hard to do that.
Right, right. Well, how about do most of your homes, you say people live in them full time, but they can be Airbnb'd out, right? Just set somewhere
Yeah,
and Airbnb.
yeah, we got quite a bit people that do that, uh, and but they stay where they stay put the homes, so they're kind of a
Right,
permanent resident. Yeah, but
right.
yeah, Airbnb is huge with them. They're statistically, I mean, they're booked up all year round, and people waiting to get in them. So that
Wow.
goes over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's one of the things that we're finding out is that there are some people that live in them full time as a residence, and so we really need to get if they're built to the RV standard, obviously they're for seasonal and temporary housing only.
hmm
But you can on Airbnb, you're doing seasonal and temporary housing, but when you live in them full time, that's when we get into the muck and the mire with the can you live it full time? Where are you going to place your unit? Is the authority having jurisdiction, or the building department going to allow you, or the zoning department? We run into all of that along the way there. All
that's
right.
kind of with NOAA inspection instead of the RVIA is because of the temporary to NOAA's permanent. So that's why we chose to be with NOAA.
Yeah, well, we are still we're using the ANSI 119.5 standard, but we plus it with some additional uh, additional standards from the home building industry and energy industry and all that. But we say it can't. It's not considered a dwelling. I mean, the 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 building department's going to tell you whether you can live in it or not live in it full time. But we always say it's more suitable for full time habitation because obviously in an RV you can put R5 in the R5 insulation in the walls and the floor and R7 in the ceiling. And our minimum requirement is R13 in the floors and the walls and R19 in the ceiling. And still that's not enough in some areas. Blaine County, Idaho wanted R28 in the ceiling and R21 in the walls and floors. And so we were able to accommodate anything that goes into Blaine County is going to have that requirement in there. But that's really the reason why we are trying to get some standards specific to tiny houses on wheels. I mean, you have your homes that are your manufactured housing, and then you have your homes that are modular or factory built homes, and you can live in those full time. And then you have your stick built homes, obviously. And it seems like the tiny houses are in that gray area right now, where people are trying, like Colorado's the first one, actually have a state statute mandating that they have a standard and a way to inspect and certify and regulate, so to speak, the tiny house world in Colorado by next July. That's the big date. By next July, it should be here. So just so you know, in case you're sending anything, it has to meet certain criteria, which we don't even know what the criterion are yet. We won't know until July, probably.
Oh, one thing. I mean, if I can teach one thing that about caulks, if you're going to go to these drier areas like Arizona and Colorado and stuff, use the stretch caulk. Use the stretch caulk in them. I mean, that almost should be kind of a thing with NOAA, because we've taken houses to Arizona with, you know, the cheaper caulk, which everybody uses for homes and stuff, the cheaper caulk, and it dried out and it cracked all over the place. So now we use the expensive stretch caulk. So
Right.
that's just somebody
expensive.
to do. Just go.
It's not that much more to do. Go to the expensive caulk in $3 as opposed to $6.
Yeah,
something.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always better to do it right. Really.
Oh yeah, yeah, and if you we may end up having to put some of that into our standards. You know, the caulking requirements. We do have taping of your windows and you know, that kind of thing. So, and also the underlayment and the house wrap and all that. Let me ask you a question. Are you building 2x4s, SIPs, or metal studs?
2x4s.
Okay. Standard stick-built construction, 2x4s, 16
Yes.
on center.
16
All
on
right.
center.
All right. And you're putting plywood on the outside, or OSB, or
Yes.
going LP side?
Yeah,
OSB.
Mm-hmm. I wrapped everything in there.
And then what on top of that?
OSB on the roofs. Is that what you're asking?
On the
I mean,
walls.
on the inside or outside? We're still at on the outside. You're cutting out.
Yeah, on the outside.
Yeah, then I do the wrap, the tie back, and then I do my windows, and then tape the windows, and then do the siding.
What
on
type
top
of
of that.
siding?
I use board and batten vinyl all the time.
Okay. All right.
People like that, and we've maybe had 2 pieces out of 40 blow off while we're transporting it, and that was just, you know, because it was cut in a thin way around the windows, and, you know, it blew off, and we had to just redo it when we got there. But it holds up well. The board and batten vinyl holds up real well. I think it's like 170 mile an hour winds it can withstand. So
Yeah. So you're good to go with that.
yeah.
All right. Have you ever heard of white labeling tiny houses? You know what that is?
No.
Okay, then you probably have never done it, but basically white labeling is where you take and build a tiny house for another company, and they put their name on it. So, you know, there's companies out there that build for other companies. They don't want to, you know, put their name, but they just mass produce houses for another company.
Yeah, wholesale for the other company, for
Yeah.
other company. Right.
Yeah, and that's called white labeling. And, you know, some people don't want to get into the marketing and sales. They just want to build. And so they just build them, and somebody else does the marketing and sales on it. How about shells? Have you done any shells, or are you just all completed units?
No, all completed. I wouldn't mind doing. I wouldn't have done shells if the, you know, market was there, but we very rarely got calls for shells.
Yeah. Well, shells go up pretty quick, and you can get a decent price for them when you sell them.
Mhm.
Have you been to any shows? Have you taken your units to any shows?
No, only because it wasn't broke, so we didn't, fix it per se. We were always been busy for the last 8 years. We've always been as busy as we want to be,
Right.
So,
Right. How are you marketing your houses?
um, we we have okay. Well, we haven't had to in the last probably I would say about a year, because we had a girl that filmed one of our houses, and then she put it on Twitter and put our name in it and said that we built it. And then she put it over YouTube and Twitter and all that. And we've gotten so many calls from just that. So we haven't really advertised, but we did Tiny House. What's that place? Tiny House Marketplace. Is that it? We've advertised
Yeah.
through them. We got some
Okay.
calls and stuff, but we haven't really advertised that much because we really didn't want to be overwhelmed with business because we wanted to keep it small,
Right.
So, because
Right.
a part of every one of my builds, I have that type A personality. I don't really trust to mass produce my homes and let other people build them. So I'm always a part of my builds to make sure that they're strong and right. So that was my sales pitch. No, I'm just kidding. But
Oh, that's
but,
cool.
yeah.
So you did have some organic social media happening, not because you wanted to, just somebody did it, and then I kind of call that word of mouth advertising.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You can
Ours has
tell
been
other-
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's cool. Let me ask you, what do you, if you don't, no, go ahead and answer it if you don't want to. What do you think your biggest mistake was coming up through here? Did you do something on a build, or other than the caulk? Obviously, was there anything that you could point to, say, man, I wish I had that house back to do it over again?
No, not really. Not really. Just the caulk thing. That's the only thing. We've always, yeah. I mean, we built cheaper versions of our homes with cheaper faucets and stuff like that. But that's what they paid for. You know what I mean? They wanted, because at first we were putting cheaper faucets and stuff like that, and then we kind of progressed into putting more expensive and raising our prices, and it never. They've always, they've always sold. So, and there's been a lot of people, if we did the cheaper faucets and stuff, they would just upgrade, so we always kept our prices down for the people, as much as possible. But yeah, no, that's about it. I would say the caulk is about it.
Biggest thing. What's a 20-footer run and a 30-footer, your standard house?
I don't know offhand. The 30s I know, because that's all we've been doing. We actually took I always would tell my customers, tell us what you like and what you don't. You're not going to hurt our feelings. And they would say, hey, we wanted this, and this would probably have been nice. So then we designed a house from their responses back to us, and that's all we've sold. So that house right now, it's the 8x30. It's going for around 80,000 before 79.9, and then I think our 20 footers are probably 65,000.
Okay. All right. Well, I just want to give everybody an idea of what to expect. We do what's called a value opinion, and so we try to keep our tabs on what other builders are selling things for. A value opinion, we basically take 3 houses as comparables, and then we have to go in and average the square footage price, any amenities that they have that are different from other ones, location, that kind of a thing. But at the end of the day, we come up with a pretty good number for what a house should be valued for. It seems like we've got a bank that likes us doing that, and an insurance company that likes us.
Right. Well, so, some of them require that, so to speak, a value of them.
Yeah. No, exactly. All right. And do you have any progress right now? Houses you're trying to wrap up before you leave?
Yeah. Yes, we got one almost done, and then we got one that all the exterior is done and the framing's all done. I just got the rods in, and I'm getting ready actually to get a electric inspection tomorrow. So I got all the electric in, and then we're gonna continue on with that.
All right, I'll just let everybody know, right now, the electrical and the plumbing does not have to be a licensed electrician and a licensed plumber. However, as the jurisdictions come in, you may have to think about doing some of the trades with licensed electricians and plumbers in order to get placement in the areas that you want.
Have you froze up?
Colorado.
You froze up. I don't know if you can see that. You there?
Because it is an RV, we say it's not, it's more than an RV, using the standard national.
Well, Robin. Oh, we got to get that corrected. Well, Mark, is there anything that you think would appeal to our attendees today that you want to talk about with your builds?
Are they the attendees there wanting to start building? I mean, start companies, or they already have companies?
Well, we offered this to our do-it-yourselfers and our current manufacturers.
I got you.
Yeah, so most of, go ahead, sorry.
I'm sorry. It's cutting
No.
out, so it's so yeah. So like for the do-it-yourselfers, if you're questioning anything, go on YouTube and look at how things are done. You know, I mean, it's that's I don't really have to do that. I've been doing this for 45 years, building homes and stuff. But I mean, things that I don't field or a trade that I'm in that I don't know, I always go on YouTube and just watch a bunch of videos and just get out there and just educate yourself that way. And
Yes.
and if and if you are stumped or you think you can't do anything, like plumbing or something, just try a handyman or something, that knows about plumbing. They can come in and they're not too expensive, and then they can teach you how to do plumbing.
Right.
And so, yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't
Yes.
think out of the box. My wife thought I was crazy when I was going to do this, and I did the first two in my driveway. And we've been busy ever since. And don't be scared; just get in there and do it.
Yeah.
If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. So no, you can.
Right. So how big is you have a warehouse that you build all your
Yeah,
tiny homes in?
It's 40 by 60. So we do
Okay.
3 of them. And
All right. Oh.
I didn't even tell a
Very
joke.
good. Right. Well, one of the great features, I think, with the NOAA certified are the inspector consultations. So a lot of the do-it-yourselfers take up on that. If they have a question or they physically want an inspector to see, hey, is this okay? Or they can email me, I answer for member support. But I think that's very helpful for the do-it-yourselfers. But we also have a lot of the manufacturers that use that to pick our inspectors' brains. But anyway, I was thinking Robin would be back. So what else can I ask you? Anything else that stands out that you might want to talk about? You said you built your first 2 in your driveway, and that's when you moved to
That's
opening your company.
I sold them real fast. So and then I built the big building right after that, and then we've been in a building that's comfortable.
Cool.
Ever since. Yeah.
Excellent.
It's been amazing. But I'm just I'm getting older, so I'm ready to chill out for a little while.
You're gonna come go fishing in Florida.
Yeah, go boat, be on the beach.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I live in Central Florida and get over to the beach easily, or we can take the boat out on the lake. But let's see, what else could we? Anything else that stands out? So all of your tiny homes do have lofts, you said. They all have Have you built any that are for any other reason than tiny home
Yeah.
living, like the business
Office.
or
Yeah,
an office,
so that
backyard
was all
offices?
office in it. It just was a single floor. So yeah,
Mhm.
it had two office on one side, office on the other side, a little kitchenette and a little bathroom in the middle.
Mhm.
We're good.
Cool.
So and
A lot of cities, municipalities, hopefully, are leaning towards allowing backyard offices, or even, I know Jacksonville recently voted. I can't find online how they voted, but they were talking about having ADUs in the backyard to help the affordable housing crisis up there.
yeah, and
Um,
if they're decorated nice, it's what's the big deal? But
mhm. Yeah,
just it's getting better every year, with them
yes.
accepting tiny homes. Some
Mhm.
states are better than others, but
Yeah,
starting to
some
accept.
states are still being
Um,
stubborn,
yeah, and insurance
but
companies recognizing and lending institutions are recognizing, tiny homes. So it's getting better and
yes,
better. Well,
I think,
and get more on demand because people are, now that it's acceptable, you
mhm.
know, people are going to want to do it more and more, because uh, deep down inside of all of us, we want to live in a little tiny house, somewhere or
I know,
that's
I
why
keep
there's,
trying to tell my husband, look at this one, isn't this beautiful? But
yeah,
yeah, he just doesn't like the crowded feeling, but I've seen
and
some beautiful ones, and I've shared
it's not,
yours on
it's
social
not,
media. Yes,
not sure, but I've always had that in my soul. I love it. I love RVs and motorhomes and camping, and so I have that in my blood anyway. So I'm gypsy like.
right.
So
Um, well, okay, I did get a text from Robin. He lost internet. And so with that, he asked if I could just wrap it up. Is there anything outstanding that you thought you might want to talk about today to the audience? Do you think we
that's
got,
there. Just do it. That's all I can
yeah,
say. Just do it. Make it
right.
happen.
Yeah, don't be scared. Jump in
Right.
and do it.